All right, guys. So today I have squats. It's going to be heavy single up to RPE 7, I believe. So we'll see what I'm looking like, but have some good hopes for it. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll see you guys in the gym. Okay, so that was a good workout. It was just a little taxing. I was able to get my main lifts recorded, but my accessory work wasn't too um, wasn't too fond of how things were looking on camera. I was like, nah, this is not good, not it. So you guys probably saw my supposed last warm up of 495, and then me taking 540 and it looking just as fast, if not faster than 495. And I showed my coach that / sent it to him, and he just goes, whoa. And I asked him if I should go up. He didn't respond a little bit more, and I was like, all right, guess I'm shooting for my own number. So then I was like, you know what? I feel like 555 is a good number. It's not too much, but it's enough to where the RPE is going to be higher, so on and so forth. So with that being said, hit 555, and man, was it smoked. I mean, I think that was my RPE range. Like, I hit it perfectly of like an RPE 7, because I could have hit that for 3 more reps. But that felt so good to hit for a single, I'm not gonna lie, and for it to move that fast, because wow, I just couldn't believe that it moved that well. But I'm super happy with it, I'm not gonna lie to you. And what I will say is it kind of fed my fire a little bit more, because as you guys know, the past couple of weeks it's been a little rough. I mean, this whole prep has been like shift after shift after pain after pain after shift, and just getting that little break, just getting that little, like, wow, you still got it, and wow, it's still there. It just fueled me enough to where I'm like, all right, so no matter what happens, and I was already going to finish it out, but no matter what happens, I know that I still have it if I were to not do the best, and I would need to go possibly into another prep and do another meet sooner rather than later. But just like the fact that I could lift that just felt great. And this is like, during that lift, what I was thinking was, not only did it feel like I was being somewhat like helped with the lifting, but I let my muscle memory take control. I turned off my brain and I just went with it. I loaded the bar and I lifted it. I was like, man, you know what? This feels light. It's gonna move like it's light. And because of that, because I checked myself and I just allowed my body to do its thing, it worked out. And in all honesty, I think that would be kind of my thought / lesson from this lift, is that sometimes you could actually analyze your way out of a situation, because based off of the past, you're so focused on what you have or haven't done before, that because of that, you are going to you're going to change / you're going to weigh down what you could be doing. So because of the tightness, and because of the the tendonitis and because of the lower back stuff, on paper, I shouldn't really be able to lift that and make it look that good and make it look that clean. Did I take a break for a week with deload and such? Absolutely. But still, on paper, if I were to write out all that kind of stuff, it makes no sense. And it's because sometimes you have to just turn off your brain and do it. Sometimes you have to go, like, you see a number or you do something, and instead of saying, oh, nope, I can't do it, or, oh, nope, that's out of my range, I can't do it, whether that would be money range or this range or that range, like, make it a goal. Turn off your brain. Just do it. Like, put your head down and put in the work. And that's what I always think when I think about this when I'm squatting, and I think it's a good lesson for life. I mean, what happens is I have that weight on my shoulders, and instead of me, like collapsing into the pocket and not being able to lift myself out of it, I look at myself, I think, all right, let's do it. And I take a deep breath and I brace for impact and I tighten everything to make sure that I am all set. And then I get down and I get back up. And you know what? Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes I might, out of all this practice, I might misgroove or something and it doesn't look as clean as it did, or I might misgroove it to where I feel the rep. But sometimes I'll take it again. Or I take it the next week. And I say, you know what? That's what I need to hit next time. Not for anybody else, not for any goal. I need to hit it for myself. I need to prove to myself that I have it in me to do that number, to do what I told myself that I wanted to do, what I was willing to do, what I was willing to put in the effort to do. That's what I need to hit. It's the same thing in life. It's the exact same thing in life. When you have your mind on something and you don't hit the goal you were thinking, you do not collapse and just sit there. You brush yourself off, you get back up, and you either take your advantage then and do it again, or you take a breath, give yourself some time to recoup, and then you do it again. The choice is yours on which one. The choice is yours on which one, but overall, you need to take your shot again. Just because, like I talked about yesterday, failure does not mean you're not successful. Failure means that you're one step closer to being successful. The thing is that failures show your weak points. Failures are where the lessons are learned. Failures are where you will strive to be great. And the problem is that people stop on the path to failure. And my question is, why in the hell are you going to stop in hell rather than continuing through the flames and the fire and the trials and the errors? If you're already in hell, why are you wanting to stay there? You need to dig your heels in and get back up and start walking. And the other thing is when I'm talking about, and the other thing is when I'm talking about like turning off your brain, I'm not saying do dumb shit. I'm not. What I'm saying is be smart, but also learn when you're overthinking. Learn when you're talking yourself out of success. Learn when you're talking yourself down and saying, I can't do it. I can't do this. It's not worth it. It's not going to happen. It's not for me. You are more prone to talk yourself out of a situation than failing at the situation you were going to put yourself in. If I would have told myself today walking in, I'm never going to hit 550 at this point, like 550 just might be a goals list right now because of just how I've been and all this kind of stuff and all these injuries that I've had. No, I walked in and I said, all right, we're going to go to my usual last warm up, which was 495, and we're going to see what it looks like. And it was good. I was like, all right, texted my coach. I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. And then from that, he's like, all right, let's do this. We do it. And that was smoked. I was like, okay, you know what? I just proved to myself that I can make it look fast. I can hit that kind of weight again. So what I do is I think about it and I analyze off of that what I should be able to hit. And then once I get my body under that bar, brain goes off. I do not think another thought. The only thing that is going through my head is the phrase, get down, get up. Get down, get up. That is it. That is the only thing that is running through my brain. I am not thinking. I am just letting it run on repeat like a record. Because that is, at that moment in time, that is all I need to do. All I need to do is tighten up, let my body do the work, get down, and get up. That's it. That's the only thing that you need to do in that moment when you're squatting. And it's the same thing. If you're going to a job interview and you apply and you get the job interview, okay, you know what you do? Get your resume, go in, and you just tell yourself, you're like, I'm going to be my true self. I'm going to show them my credentials. And you know what? Whatever happens, happens. And the thing is that what a lot of people don't understand is that I almost like to rethink of when you say, oh, I'm failing, or, oh, I failed that. Failure in that instance, when it's like a job interview, if you like don't get the job and you see yourself as a failure, you just gained experience on how to do an interview. You just gained experience on what your weak points are in an interview that you need to work on. You just gained the experience of, this is what it's like to sit in front of people. This is what it's like to talk about myself. What are the key points that I need to bring up next time? What are some of the questions that they asked that were really good questions that I should have answers to? What questions should I ask? You need to take every failure, every single time that you come up short as a learning experience, as a learning opportunity, as an opportunity to grow. Because if you continue to do that and almost think of this as a video game and you're trying to level up, you are going to soar because of the fact that you are letting yourself not only turn your brain off when you need to and just do the work, but when you put yourself through a circumstance of experience, or a circumstance of, you know what, I'm going to get through this, or a circumstance of, this is what I'm going to do. I need to do it well, and I'm going to do it really good, like really well overall. I'm going to do it. And nothing's going to stop me. Then you just are proving to yourself that you're doing the right thing, that you're going to make it through in life, that you're going to not only learn from the hard times, but also strive in the hard times. You're going to learn how to be more resilient. You're going to learn how to just get through the hard times. Because imagine giving up on yourself before you hit what you were thinking that you wanted to hit. Before you hit your potential. And I think the biggest thought that I have in my head for that is one simple thing. And it's one simple thing that's going to hit deep. There will be a lot of people. There will be a lot of people that, you know, they say, you know, when you get to heaven and you're going to ask God a question or something like that. If and when I die and I go to heaven and I ask God, did I reach my full potential? I want him to show me a mirror and not a picture. I want him to say, this was your true potential. You hit what I wanted you to do. You did my work. You did what I wanted you to do, and you became the best version of yourself. You became what I made you to be. That is the only thing that you should be worried about. Not only that you're doing good work and you're doing good things and you're being kind to one another and you're all of these good works. You should really focus on those. But like I've talked about before, you need to be the best version of yourself and work on yourself to be better for others. Because if you learn through yourself how to get through a hard time and someone's going through a similar hard time, you're going to be so much better with helping them because you know how you got through it. You know tips and tricks. the thing is that if someone comes to you and say, they say like, oh, I'm having this issue, or oh, I'm, an alcoholic, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that, and you have vices that you never beat, and you just have to look at them, and if it's a loved one, you just have to look at them and say, I don't know how to help you because I don't know how to help myself. That has got to be the biggest thing, is that you need to reach your full potential, and you need to learn how to help yourself and be better for yourself and do what you need to do for yourself to help others, to be there for others, to show others how to be the best versions of themselves, to, and that's the mission, is to bring people to God, to bring people to heaven, to paradise, because that's what it's supposed to be. That it's supposed to be that you are focusing on helping others, because we're all in this together. There are no sides. There are no sides. There's there's nothing of that sort, because we should all be on the same side helping each other. And because of that, we need to focus on not only becoming the best version of ourselves, but we also need to focus on, when we are in a rut and when we know the tips and the tricks, to share them, to help your brothers and sisters grow. Because again, we're all in this together. We should be one for all. And that's what I would leave it at, is just, when it comes to these kind of situations, when you're worrying about failure and all these kind of stuff, like all these kind of things, it's experience. And when you're growing about yourself and you're becoming the best version of yourself, that is when you're going to be able to not only help yourself the most, but you're going to be able to help everybody around you the most. So that's where I'll leave it at. And I hope you guys have a good night. But until next time, peace.